Just really happy we walked away with a win. Our guys did a great job those last 6-7 minutes of coming together, playing tough, obviously, and made some momentum plays. But just the togetherness that we had, I think, is what we need to carry us through the rest of this season. We've kind of been in a tough spot these last 5 games and haven't practiced as much as we want, basically since the beginning of the year, or the new year in 2025. And I thought this week we took a step. We were able to practice. We worked hard. We got better this week, and let's use these last 6 minutes as kind of a tipping point going into the last stretch.
You guys are down 7 with 90 seconds left. How do you kind of best describe the way you guys turned that around those last minute and a half?
Some big momentum plays, but really just steadiness. Like I felt every single time there's a dead ball, our guys were huddling. They were making sure we were on the same page. Defensively, we executed exactly what we needed to execute. It just kind of shows the importance of how that extra detail-oriented approach is. We need that for the rest of the game, but what we can do when we're like that.
Couldn't get a whole lot of stops for the first, 37 minutes. And you guys obviously turned that around in that stretch. What changed in that last few minutes? You guys were able to get some stops.
I think attention to detail and really we spend so much time as a team watching film and walking through stuff and going over stuff and obviously practicing as well. But at the end of the day, it's a game, and we've got to have that same fight that we had the last few minutes and approach it like it's a game, and it's not something that we're going to go tippy-toe into, and I think that's something that we can carry forward.
A huge difference between the first part of that second half and the second part of the second half. What was it that really made such a dramatic difference there?
Guys leaning on each other. I think when it comes down to it, there's frustrating things that happen in a game, and we kind of let that snowball a few times, and one mistake kind of led to another, and finally we had enough of it. I kind of want to give credit to Ethan and Dane, our seniors, for helping kind of lead those guys and set the tone. I thought they both did a good job, and as crazy as it sounds, we had a freshman come in and really set the tone. Thomas diving on the floor, I don't know when that was in the second half. I thought that really sparked us and just kind of showed the fight we need.
Coach, one moment that kind of stood out to me is when they hit a 3 to go up 8. You called a timeout, and it seemed like Lawan was kind of had his head down or carrying his head under the basket, and you kind of went over him immediately before talking to anybody else. I guess kind of what was the message to him when he's maybe not having his best half, but then second half he has a better half and hits maybe the most timely bucket?
I think that's kind of the example of there's some mistakes that happened, and we were just letting them snowball. And these guys, Lawan in particular, he puts so much time and effort into this. He cares as much or more than anyone that I've ever coached. And, we just got to get him reset, because when he's playing at the best of his ability, he's an NBA player. And we just got to, keep helping him with that. And I think when he's just playing the game like it's a game, because he's our, I don't know, I call him, he's a hooper. He's going to go in the off season. He's going to be down at 2 or 3 open gyms every single day. He loves the game more than anyone. And so when he's just playing with that joy, I think that's what we saw in the second half. That's what you saw down the stretch, and he just needs to be a little more consistent with that.
Isaiah's 3 to tie the game. Do you have that drawn up, or is that just Isaiah, making a big shot?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember the whole possession. I think it was a skip pass over there or something like that. I don't know. A lot of the stuff we do is not drawn up. There's some stuff we tell them to look for, but it's our guys making reads, and whoever made the pass was probably making a read, and Isaiah found the window to get open, and it's growth. We've learned from our mistakes. We learned from that Pacific game how to close games out defensively. And you go even look at that Oregon State game, late game, down maybe 2 points. I thought Zay got a decent look at a 3 and kind of just rushed it a little bit. And I thought he just really took his time on this one. And we were in the film yesterday, and our team, voiced their belief in him. And he's hit big shots. He's hit shots on the biggest stage, and we have a ton of confidence in him. And I'm just happy to see that one go down for us today.
On Pepperdine's last possession, did they run kind of what you thought they might run? And then for Ethan to come over and block that shot, what does that say about him?
He's just Mr. Consistent. He's our steadiness, and this team needs a lot of that. And he executed exactly what we needed him to do. We knew the ball was probably going to go to number 7. I mean, Mo Odom was killing too. He had a lot of assists, and what do you have? 18 points, 11 assists. So it was one of those two guys. We saw number 7 taking it out, and I thought Ethan did a good job jumping out on that switch and contesting the shot and not letting it get to the rim.
I'm curious kind of what this win does for you guys long term, coming off a 5-game losing streak. What does this do for you guys, for the rest of the season?
Well, I think when you look at life or you look at seasons, there's always moments that you can go back to. Like in this game, like we go back to that time that Thomas dove on the floor, and I thought that was kind of the tipping point. And we need to use this as kind of that tipping point. We've been fighting. We've had a really good week of practice, and I thought togetherness, and that didn't necessarily show for all 40 minutes at Oregon State. It definitely didn't show all 40 minutes tonight, but we've got to use this and understand what it takes with the fight, with the togetherness that we need, and use that going down the stretch. Because I feel like especially early in the season, there's been times I felt like we're the best team on the West Coast. And when we're clicking and we're playing together, and you've seen it for different spurts at times, we start off games pretty dang well. We got to use this to build momentum, to win these games down the stretch, to go into the tournament with the momentum we need, and go beat these teams in the tournament.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Go Cougs.